There's a substance on Earth that completely breaks the rules of physics, and global reserves have dropped 34% since 2020 from 48.2 billion to just 31.7 billion cubic meters. While most people think of helium as balloon filler, the 2025 global helium crisis threatens to shut down MRI machines worldwide. Helium forms only through radioactive decay over millions of years. Unlike other gases, there's no way to make more. But that's not even the strangest part. Cool helium down to just 2.17 Kelvin, and it transforms into a state physics didn't think possible at human scales, a liquid that climbs walls, flows upward against gravity, and has zero friction. Scientists call it superfluid helium, and the numbers behind this crisis are staggering. The 2025 helium crisis, numbers that will shock you. Global helium reserves have plummeted to their lowest levels in recorded history by 2025, with proven reserves dropping from 48.2 billion cubic meters in 2020 to just 31.7 billion cubic meters today. This represents a catastrophic 34% decline in just 5 years, a rate of depletion that has stunned industry experts and government officials worldwide. The United States Geological Survey's latest assessment reveals that at current consumption rates, these remaining reserves will last only 15 to 20 years, fundamentally altering humanity's relationship with this irreplaceable element. Current global helium consumption has reached 8.2 billion cubic meters annually, while production has stagnated at just 6.8 billion cubic meters per year. This massive supply-demand imbalance means the world consumes 1.4 billion cubic meters more helium than it produces every single year, forcing industries to drain strategic reserves that took millions of years to accumulate naturally. The gap continues widening as semiconductor manufacturing, medical imaging, and emerging quantum computing applications drive demand higher each quarter. Traditional helium extraction sites face unprecedented challenges that have reshaped the global supply map. Qatar's North Field, which provided nearly 30% of world helium production through 2023, reduced output by 45% due to new, liquefied natural gas priorities and infrastructure maintenance issues. Russia's Amur facility, designed to supply 20% of global demand, operates at only 60% capacity following international sanctions and technical difficulties with cryogenic separation equipment. Algeria's Hassi R'Mel complex, another major source, suspended helium extraction for 8 months in 2024 due to political instability and equipment failures. The United States remains the world's largest helium producer, extracting approximately 2.9 billion cubic meters annually from natural gas operations across Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma. However, American production peaked in 2019 and has declined steadily as natural gas wells age and helium concentrations decrease. The Bureau of Land Management's Cliffside facility, which stored helium for decades, completed its mandated sell-off in 2021, eliminating the strategic buffer that once stabilized global markets during supply disruptions. Poland emerged as an unexpected player in 2024, beginning commercial helium extraction from newly discovered deposits near Podlaskie. Initial production rates of 12 million cubic meters annually provide only minimal relief to European shortages. Tanzania's Rukwa project shows promise with estimated reserves of 54 billion cubic feet, but extraction infrastructure remains years away from commercial operation. These new sources cannot compensate for declining production from established fields. Helium's unique atomic structure makes artificial production impossible through any known chemical or physical process. Unlike hydrogen, which can be manufactured through electrolysis, or nitrogen, which can be separated from air, helium forms only through radioactive decay of uranium and thorium deep within Earth's crust over geological timescales. This natural production process creates approximately 3,000 tons of helium globally each year, a microscopic fraction of human consumption. Once helium escapes into the atmosphere, it rises beyond Earth's gravitational pull and disappears into space forever, making conservation absolutely critical. The economic impact of helium scarcity has transformed entire industries within just 5 years. Laboratory-grade helium prices increased from $4.50 per cubic meter in 2020 to $34.80 per cubic meter in 2025, representing a staggering 673% price increase. Ultra-high purity helium required for semiconductor manufacturing now costs $89.20 per cubic meter compared to $12.30 in 2020. These price increases force difficult decisions about which applications receive priority access to remaining supplies. Medical facilities worldwide face impossible choices as helium costs consume larger portions of operating budgets. St. Mary's Hospital in London spent $127,000 on helium in 2020, but allocated $486,000 for the same quantity in 2025. Similar increases affect hospitals across Europe, Asia, and North America, with some facilities reducing MRI availability by 40% to control costs. Research institutions postpone low-temperature physics experiments, while universities eliminate liquid helium demonstrations from introductory courses. Manufacturing sectors dependent on helium experience severe disruptions as procurement becomes increasingly difficult. Fiber optic cable production requires helium atmospheres to prevent contamination, but suppliers now ration deliveries and require 6-month advance contracts. Welding operations for aerospace and nuclear applications struggle to secure helium-argon mixtures essential for titanium and aluminum joining processes. Semiconductor fabs implement elaborate helium recycling systems, recovering and purifying used gas that would have been vented to atmosphere in previous decades. The helium crisis intensifies urgency around understanding this element's most extraordinary properties, particularly those exhibited under extreme cooling conditions. Scientists recognize that developing more efficient helium recycling technologies requires deeper comprehension of how helium behaves at various temperatures and pressures. Current recycling methods recover only 85% of helium from closed-loop systems, meaning 15% still escapes during each cycle. Improving recovery rates to 98% or higher could extend available supplies by decades while new sources come online. Research into helium's quantum mechanical properties offers potential pathways to revolutionary cooling technologies that might reduce overall helium consumption.